Hey guys, welcome back to my kitchen and my channel, and today we're going to be making a brown sugar pound cake. Now this pound cake is really easy. It's kind of similar to just a regular like butter pound cake or vanilla pound cake. It just has brown sugar in it. So I have my ingredients here. I have some granulated sugar, I have sour cream, 5 eggs, 2 sticks of butter and a half a stick of Crisco shortening. I have light brown sugar, some all-purpose flour, and some vanilla extract. Okay, so let's get into making this cake. First, we're gonna cream our butter and our sugar. Okay, so you want to make sure that your butter is room temperature. You want to make sure all your ingredients is room temperature. Okay, like your sour cream, your eggs, and your butter. The shortening already comes room temperature, but yeah, just make sure that your anything cold that you take out the refrigerator is room temperature. Please, please, please. Very important. Okay, so we're gonna cream together, like I said, the butter and the sugar. I'm just gonna beat the butter first. Now, I know some people don't use shortening in their pound cakes, but I always use shortening in my pound cakes. Whenever I make a pound cake, I use a half, instead of like that half a stick of butter that some recipes call for. I just substitute that for a half a stick of Crisco shortening, and I feel like it makes the cake like it makes it taste so good, and it makes it soft. Like the consistency of my pound cakes when I bake it is always like soft and fluffy when I use that shortening. So instead of using two and a half sticks of butter, I use 2 sticks of butter and a half of stick of Crisco shortening. And the shortening, it comes, you like, oh my God, it's so fat, but that's okay. That's okay. It's gonna bake the same. Like, I know it's not the same size as a stick of butter, but trust me, use that half a stick of Crisco shortening. You can use the butter flavored one, or you can use the regular one. It'll do. Trust me. Okay. And so what I did was I added 2 cups of light brown sugar and 1 cup of granulated sugar, just the regular sugar. Okay. And that's really like the only substitute you're gonna do when you're making like this pound cake, this brown sugar pound cake, is the 2 cups of light brown sugar. And when I made this, like when it came out so good, y'all. I was like, oh, okay, I like the little spin on the little brown sugar. It was good. It wasn't like too sweet or anything like that. Like it came out perfect. Okay, so but when you're creaming your butter and your sugar, you gotta make sure you cream it enough, because you're gonna have streaks. And I always had like this problem where I thought I creamed the butter and the sugar enough, but it just still wasn't enough. And I'm like, oh my God, but I don't want my stuff to split, right? Because you beat it long enough and you think, oh my God, it's gonna split if I keep doing it. But I think you just have to keep like doing it for at least like 7 to 10 minutes, because you don't want those streaks, like those little wet streaks in your pound cake when you bake it, or you don't want it to fall, like all the liquid just come forming together, and it ruins your whole pound cake. It ruins your whole pound cake. Okay. And so, but after you cream the butter and the sugar, you're going to add your eggs, and you're going to add your eggs in one at a time. Okay, this is very, very, very important, because you don't want a mess. You want to make sure that everything is incorporated as it should be. That's why you want, to add in eggs one at a time. And I know you're like, well, how do I know when to add in the next egg? So when you add in the egg and it's mixing and you don't see that egg yolk anymore, then you add in the next egg. And then the next egg, and then the next egg. Okay, you just repeat that step until you don't have any more eggs. Okay, but yeah, that step is very important, because you really, really want to make sure that those eggs are mixed in very, very well. Okay, so that's really important. And after you add in all your eggs, because this is a big like batch of cake batter, it's gonna look like a hot mess. After you add in that last egg, it's gonna look like your cake is splitting. It's like split buttercream, but that's okay. It's okay, because when you add in your flour, it's gonna all come together. Okay, you see how it looks like it's gonna split, like it look like a bad batch of buttercream, that's okay. And so after you add in that tablespoon of vanilla extract, you're gonna add in half of your flour. Okay, just make sure you add it in like a little slow. You don't want to add in all the flour at once because you got to add in your sour cream. Okay, and you want to start with your flour and end with your flour. Okay, so just make sure you don't add in just all the flour at once. Okay, don't do that. I don't know. Some people may do it. It may work for them, but me, I never did it, so I'm not gonna mess it up. Okay, I'm just not gonna do that. All right. Then we're gonna go in and add in our sour cream, and you want to make sure this is room temperature, guys. This is so important. You don't want a cold sour cream. It's really gonna split. Like, it's really not gonna turn out good. Okay, so just make sure that you sit out your sour cream long enough. Sour cream takes a while to get the room temperature, just like buttermilk. It takes a little minute. Okay, so just make sure you have enough time to when you want to bake your cake to sit out your sour cream, okay, because you want to make sure that this is room temperature. So, but you can add in this whole cup of sour cream. Walmart, any grocery store sell it already in an 8-ounce container. The 8 ounce is equals to a cup. Okay, so you don't have to buy like this whole big old tub of sour cream. You don't have to do that. You could just buy, if you want to make, try out one cake and it costs for a cup of sour cream, just buy the 8-ounce container, the little small one. They're like $1 and some change. Okay. And so after we add in our sour cream, we're going to add in the rest of your flour, and we're just going to mix that. Okay. Now, when you add in the rest of the flour, we just want to make sure that you don't have any like crumbs, like any just like chunky pieces. Okay. So just make sure that you mix it kind of well. Make sure you mix it well, but not too much, because you don't want to make the cake too tough. Okay, pound cakes can turn bad real quick. It can go from 0 to 100. Okay, so when you see that there's no more clumps and lumps and all of that in the cake, then you want to stop mixing your batter for your pound cake. Now, this is not like a regular other cake, but pound cakes, you have to be very, very, very careful, because this is a dense cake already. So you don't want to mix too much, because you don't want the cake to be tough. It's already dense, but you don't want it to be too like tough. You don't want that. We don't want a tough cake, okay? Because what if you overbake the cake? Then that's another problem, and we don't want that. All right, we just don't want that. All right, so I'm gonna I sprayed my baking pan already. I'm sorry, with some Baker's Joy. I always use Baker's Joy. It never fails me. Always use it. It always comes out clean. Once I take my pound cake out, it cools and I take it out. Baker's Joy never fails. So I always use Baker's Joy. I haven't used any other type of baking spray, so I don't know how that works. When I don't have Baker's Joy, I just spread my my pan with shortening. I grease it really well with shortening and a little flour. That's like an old school way of how to do it. But you could do that as well. So if you don't have any baking spray, but you have like some leftover shortening, you can like grease your pan really good, get all in the creases. You can grease it with some shortening and add a little flour in there, and just kind of bang it a little bit so the flour can go everywhere, but not too much flour, y'all. Not too much flour, but add a little flour in there, and then you can put your cake batter in there, and it'll come out clean. All right. So I baked it on 325 for an hour and 5 minutes, and it came out clean, y'all. This cake was so good. It was so good. I just put a regular glaze on it. I didn't want it to be too sweet or anything like that, because I don't like an overly sweet cake. Pound cakes are already sweet. So I just wanted to use like a simple glaze, and I just left it plain on there, and it was so good. It came out so fluffy, so soft. I love the brown sugar, like adding the brown sugar part to it. But yeah, it came out good. So y'all should try it. If you want to see more videos like this, please like, comment, share, and subscribe, y'all. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.